Flindt Andersen, from age 13 on, went through some tough years. Some tough years. But the last 13 years had some victorious years. And he established an organization called PAIN, P-A-I-N, Prescription Abusers in Need. So I'm going to bring Flindt up. He's going to share some about his life, and he's going to bring the Tatham family up. So please welcome Flindt Andersen.
This is an honor for me to be here tonight. It truly is. For those of you that don't know me, there's a lot of you that do, but the fact of the matter is I'm a recovering drug addict. And I have been in recovery for 14 years now. I had a 23-year addiction to opiate medication. I've had 32 surgeries over the course of my lifetime. I know I'm going to have a couple more somewhere down the road, and that's okay. But at the end of my using, I was taking approximately 70 Vicodin every day. And that did not include drugs like Soma, Valium, any other drug that I could get into my system. Because as an opiate addict, people don't understand, you have to have the drug in your system. You continually have to have more. It's called a tolerance. I didn't start out taking that many, but of course I wound up taking, and if there were 90 out there during the day or 120, I would have taken those as well. I'm married, I have 2 sons, and I'm still married to the same woman, which is an absolute miracle. I have a relationship with my sons today. I wasn't physically abusive, anything like that. I was just a good old-fashioned drug addict that had to have the drug, and that meant that everything else came second. But the fact of the matter is, we are in the middle of an epidemic here in Fresno and Clovis with prescription drug abuse in our young teenagers. And by the way, 90% of adult addicts started in their teens. And the top 7 schools for abuse and addiction today are Clovis West, Buchanan, Clovis North, Bullard, San Joaquin Memorial, Clovis High, and Fresno Christian. 95% of the clients we see are from those schools. We're not talking about gang kids. We're talking about what we call the north of Herndon crowd. I know what the addict does. Whether you're 15, whether you're 19, whether you're 39, whether you're 60. And we deal at the PAIN organization, we deal with this day in and day out. Day in and day out. The chaos, the wreckage that this addiction is causing. Because parents don't want to get involved. They don't want to know what their kid's doing. My gosh, parents, drug test your kid? There's a concept. They don't even want to do it because, they're afraid of stepping on their kids' rights. They have no rights. In particular, under the age of 18 or over the age of 18, if they're living with you. Who cares? We want to save their lives first. We're going to worry about them liking us later because they're always going to love you. So now I'm going to welcome up some friends of mine, and I call them friends of mine. Because what most people don't understand, they do, but most people don't. Addiction never goes away. Do I live in my addiction every day? No, I do not. Do I have a plan and aware of it? You bet. What happens if I'm driving down the street, get in a car accident, break my leg, ambulance takes me to St. Agnes, doctor loads me up with morphine? Because I love that drug. I actually love it. So I better have a plan. These folks have a plan. They're wonderful. So I'd like to welcome now Mike Tatham and Megan Tatham.
It was probably 2002. We started to notice that Megan was, her mood changes, a shift in friends, just a little bit of chaos, the typical things that most parents notice when their kids are starting to use drugs. We talked, we discussed it, we denied it, we justified it, we did just about everything except acknowledge it until we got a phone call from a guidance counselor at Clovis West and confirmed our worst fears. So we naturally went for the most expensive fix, thinking that you get what you pay for. We called Betty Ford. Megan was an adolescent at that point. They referred us to Cottonwood in Tucson. So I'm thinking at roughly $1,000 a day, these guys must be able to cure my daughter. We did that for 30, 45 days, sent her from there to Rochester, Minnesota. It was a kind of an extension of the Mayo Clinic. So we went first class. And she came home, re-engaged. She seemed fine for a few years. 2008, 2009, we started to see some of those old patterns come back, but this time with more of a vengeance, this time much more serious. In 2010, we moved her home, her and her son, and she's been living at home since. With the child, that changed the equation a little bit. So we tried local outpatient programs, and I'm not going to name any names, but anybody that's familiar with that process, there's only 2 or 3. Megan was stopped at a DUI checkpoint, not intoxicated, but they found 6 Vicodin pills in her possession that didn't belong to her. Probably a misdemeanor at best. They charged her with a felony, which seemed harsh at the time, but in hindsight, that was God's hand on my daughter. That started a whole new chapter. I could usually control things up to that point, but when she got into the system, I had to let go. I couldn't, there's nothing I could do. 2010, 2011, things got worse.
Like my dad said in 2010, I was actually getting waved through the checkpoint, but I was loaded on drugs. I wasn't drunk, so they couldn't breathalyze me, but they knew that I was high, and that's why they searched my car. And that started being involved with the legal system, and it even took a couple years of being in drug court and them remanding me. I'd only go to jail for like overnight, but still, that you would think that that would be an instant wake-up call, but my addiction was so deep that I would get clean for maybe 30 to 60 days, and the embarrassment and the shame would cause me and drive me back to using the drugs. But I experienced my own hell on earth, and I didn't feel like I had any identity except for labels that, you know, as a drug addict, and I knew that I was coming close to getting my son taken away from me, and he's the love of my life. I used to think, why can't I get clean for him? It would just tear me apart, but it kept me in that sick cycle of numbing myself out. When you feel like you are the most disgusting person in the world, and the Lord shows up and just loves on you, and you have this freedom. And the best part is that I have a purpose now, and I know God's calling me into ministry. I know that not a day that I spent in that hell is in vain now, because I can reach people and talk to people that I never would have been able to, and I can understand a pain that a lot of people wouldn't be able to understand. And today I am free, and I have a relationship with the Lord that's beautiful, and He's given me joy and restored my family. And, you know, I'm no longer ashamed. I never thought I'd be in this building, like my family, you know, and like that's how cool God is. Like, I'm standing up telling you guys that I was an addict for 14 years, but I'm free now, and I can look at my family and not be ashamed or want to cringe.